conquered the world of e-commerce. And I can tell you, we could talk ages about it. So without further ado, please let me introduce you my two guests here. With me are Christiane Brunk, Managing Director of Braun Büffel, and Martin Himmel, co-founder of the e-commerce consultancy ecom Consulting. So glad to have you both here this midday. Christiane, would you please shortly introduce Braun Büffel and its philosophy to the participants?
Yeah, hi to everybody. Thanks for this kind introduction, Daniela. I'm really happy to present our case together with Martin at this DMEXCO event. I'm the CEO and owner of Braun Büffel, a German family business since 4 generations. We are a manufacturer of high quality leather goods for ladies and men. Our craftsmen, which we also train in our own manufacture, are highly devoted to details and have a great love for leather. Besides our production facilities in Kirn, we also have a production partnerships abroad to meet certain price points. Actually, we have around 400 point of sale in Germany and around 150 point of sale in Europe and Russia. All of them independent retailers or leading department stores. Also, we operate own brick and mortar stores. We have our flagship store in Munich. We are in premium outlet Wertheim Village and in Landquart, Switzerland, and a small outlet here in our place in Kirn.
What challenges did you face before you decided to go into e-commerce?
Yeah, good question. Since many years, we see a declining retail business. Our customers face a lot of problems ranging from low frequencies in the cities, increasing rents, until lacking successors. We also felt that we only had little influence on brand presence and product presentation with our existing retail partners, and also a limited influence on product mix in terms of collection breadth and depth. Further, the online pure players did not exactly match our brand philosophy. So these were external factors. Then coming to our internal situation, we were forced to do a relaunch of our existing web shop as the support for the Magento 1.9 ended. Our existing ERP system did not offer marketplace functions, and well, one crucial point, we only had a poor internal know-how.
Okay, so what was the real initial spark to start your digital transformation journey?
Yeah, this was a quite personal one. In 2018, I was in a sort of entrepreneurial midlife crisis, searching for a new strategic direction for Braun Bffel. So I attended a seminar offered by HDSL. This is the German Leather Goods Association, or Association for Shoes and Leather Goods. I'm a board member, to learn and study the possibilities of e-commerce. There I realized that the internet offers completely new possibilities of communication and interaction with the consumer. So we held an internal workshop together with Martin and his team to define the strategic direction for Braun Büffel. We identified bottleneck factors and developed a roadmap.
Okay, and what were your goals that you wanted to achieve with the digital transformation and the way into e-commerce?
Yeah, so after this start, we had further workshops with ecom, and we defined 5 major goals. First of all, achieving a better brand positioning in the small leather goods sector, getting more independence from wholesale or specialist stores, improve brand building and visibility of the brand. But what was also key for us, that the BB direct e-commerce activities should also support the existing customers. And last but not least, a cultural change in the company by implementing a startup in our very traditional organization.
Martin, I introduced you before. You are the founder of the e-commerce consultancy ecom Consulting, and you accompanied the digital transformation of BB, as Christiane said. What were the first steps when you came into the company?
You know, first of all, we heard about the internal issues. We heard about the the lack of knowledge. We heard about the limitations of the ERP system, and first of all, it was important for us to establish a knowledge transfer from the very beginning. So we didn't go somewhere else and figure out something and come up with a solution, but we always collaborated on finding a strategy. And the goal was really to find a digitalization strategy that matches the feasibility of the company on the one hand, and on the other hand, picks up the goals that Christiane just mentioned to improve the brand visibility, for example, but also go to the customer together with the retail, which is very important still for Braun Büffel. So we wanted to avoid cannibalization on the one hand, and on the other hand, increase the visibility of the brand so that everybody participates from what we did. So first of all, we went for an analysis of the customer and the customer needs from the customer's point of view, not from the company's point of view, but from the customer's point of view. We took a look at all the relevant touch points. We figured out what are the touch points that are relevant for purchase journey. We tried to find out what is important for the customer on those journeys, and we figured out what is really important on that journey. We figured out what is really important also for the company, what is feasible for the company to conquer the most important touch points.
Okay, so what was the outcome of your analysis of the customer needs?
First of all, we asked ourselves a lot of strategic questions like who's our digital customer, and along with the journey, what is let's say a basic need of the customer, but what could also excite the customer on its journey through those channels. And what we found out is that the customer is even more female and younger compared to stationary retail, which was quite surprising. And on top of that, we figured out what can we really do on that basis to make a customer purchase over and over again, and what can we do to improve also the situation of the stationary retail. And we did a lot that was, let's say, complementary also to the existing retail business, but on the other hand also tackle the direct sales with a lot of measures like a gift selector, because a woman buying a man's wallet, we then have a higher probability that this is somehow a gift, and we even have a higher probability that there will be a gift needed in the next year all along, right? So we went for a gift selector. On the other hand, individualization was really core for us in the strategy. You will hear about the numbers later on. But we also did things like establishing a lot of content that is important and interesting on the one hand for the stationary retail, but also for the end consumer. The World of Leather, the Leather Compendium, as we told it, with a lot of interesting articles about leather. And this increased brand visibility a lot, as we found out.
Okay. Christiane, you just said you didn't want to upset your existing retail partners with your digital transformation strategy. But to be honest, what do retailers gain from the fact that you now serve your customers directly?
Yeah, well, I think first and main point is the better brand visibility and higher brand awareness, which is a benefit for all who are selling our products. We share our insights, for example, regarding the buyer characteristics, bestseller products, and so on with our retailers. And we test new products, colors, or any special product features in our own channels before, and then offering them to our wholesale customers. So risk for them is reduced, and I think this is very positive for us. Also, Martin mentioned it, we are very proud of our leather compendium because, well, we are leather people, and we really love leather. So our wholesale customers can use our web shop as a source of information and training for their staff. So I think these are the main points, besides several others.
Okay, so you were in the lucky situation to start your digital transformation before Corona came. So I suppose many other brands would have wished to have done that before. When you look back on that time, what advice would you give other brands who are in the beginning of that journey?
Yeah. I believe that culture and mindset is key in this process. The digital transformation is a matter for the CEO, so you can't delegate this. So, well, I give it to all the CEOs, support your team in the process and learn from them. It's a quite wonderful experience. And then you should find ways together with your retailers to excite the customer, because I think this will be crucial in the next period of time. And yeah, you should not be afraid of any cannibalization. Martin mentioned it before, because you will serve other target groups on the web than in your classic business. And you should invest in your team, as operational excellence is indispensable.
That's wisely said. You mentioned culture and mindset, and that's a good keyword. How did your organization cope with the change that happened?
Yeah, well, as you can probably imagine, if you have, we are more than 133 years old now. In the beginning, we had a lot of doubters that leather goods, especially in a higher price range, can be sold successfully through the internet. So after doubling the turnover in the last 2 years, we see quite a spirit of optimism and a breath of fresh air in all departments. And I think we could convince those who were a little bit skeptical. So the new digital team has a mission and not a job. With this purpose, we are also attracting young talent to the location in Kirn, because, well, we are not a bigger city. We are a very romantic landscape here. And so you can probably imagine that it's quite difficult for us to attract young talents. But anyway, so far we managed it good. And yeah, I'm quite happy with this.
Okay, so finally, let's take a look at the really hard facts. What did it all add up in cash in terms?
Yeah, well, I go back to the year 2018. We had the direct sale had a share of 14% of the total turnover. In 2021, the share increased to 30%, and it's our strategic objective to increase this share to 50% until 23. And in this period, the sales sixfold. I think this needs no further comments so far. So I can only recommend, don't waste further time. Start your journey into the digital world immediately and look for support by experienced external partners.
Okay, so we rushed through all the questions in yeah, very short time. So we have some minutes left for famous last words. Martin, I don't know, do you want to say anything to the participants?
Of course. I'd like to emphasize one thing that Christiane just pointed out. Let's say as a side note, but it isn't. You know, when we're talking about direct to customer, direct to consumer, it's often about sales. But on the other hand, what Christiane just said is even more important to a lot of companies. What we really managed to do is we tried to tackle the customer and get the customer's feedback as soon as possible in this direct-to-customer approach. So we went from producing big series and big numbers, getting them through the stationary retail with discounts if products are not accepted that well from a consumer's perspective. From the old world, so to say, to the new world, which means a small series, small number of pieces. We tried in direct dialogue with the customer through marketplaces, through direct sales, throughout the website, and really can figure out what a customer needs and what a customer doesn't need. And remember, we're talking about wallets, we're talking about business bags on the one hand, and we have the Corona situation on the other hand, with people traveling to the office a lot less, not needing the business bags on the one hand, and on the other hand, cash is something that diminishes over time. That's something that Corona really gave a boost to. So I think it's even more important in this times of change for Braun Büffel to really find a way to directly approach the customer and bring goods to the market in a large number of pieces that that the customer really wants and requests, right? And if it's a wallet or not, that's something to figure out for Braun Büffel and the team, and of course ourselves, because we stay in a dialogue, and we're happy to help onwards. That's one thing I'd like to point out. On the other hand, Christiane just said culture is key, and from my perspective, also the dialogue is key. If you experience Christiane, she's not somebody putting the decisions on the table and everybody has to accept it. But we figured out a lot of things in the team, in the dialogue with the team. We decided together. It was not a decision by a single person. And I think it was really, really important for everybody to understand why those decisions take place, be it in the logistics, be it in the online marketing, be it in going for channels, etc., etc. That's really something we figured out. This is also why we took a little longer than 3 or 4 or 5 months for the go live. But what you can see is that this approach has even been more substantial. Christiane just mentioned the breath of fresh air going through the company, and this is really something you can feel with every fiber of your body as soon as you enter the company.
Okay. Christiane, the last minute goes to you. Do you have anything to say?
Yeah, well, it was a quite interesting project, and as Martin mentioned, I'm really happy that we started early enough, because I think without this web shop, and we had totally lost the contact to the consumer, because also the Corona crisis affected us very hard. We were just coming back from our first fair yesterday, and it was so good to hear that this crucial point, not to upset the retailers, I think we were quite successful, because I had interesting dialogues at the fair, and they are all supporting us and love the brand Braun Büffel. So I'm really happy with the whole issue.
So I'm getting a sign the time is over, unfortunately. Thank you very much. I think if there are questions, you are open to contacts from LinkedIn or social media. So please feel free to ask the both. Thank you very much for your insights, and have a nice day. And thanks for listening and watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.